Hey everybody, and welcome to the Focus Garage. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to go from these big orange floppy pumpkin turn signals to some flush mounted LED turn signals on your 2017 and up FZ-09/MT-09. So from the factory, and there's a couple different reasons why, the bike comes with these very, very large obnoxious turn signals which poke out from the bike pretty far and are just a large detractor on the way the bike looks. Obviously you got the whole visibility aspect going for it. This is very, very visible. You can see it when it's on. But it's very, very old looking. Yamaha's been using these style of turn signals on their motorcycles for a very, very long time. So I feel like they almost just have like a stockpile of them and they're just trying to burn through them and get through them. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've replaced those factory turn signals with some flush mounted Proton 500 signals here. You can see them on the right hand side of the bike here, and we'll go ahead and flip around to the left hand side of the bike in just a moment. But these are a much slimmer profile on the motorcycle. They fit pretty much flush, obviously they're flush mounted signals, with the turn signal stock here, so they don't protrude out from the bike. But I'm going to show you the reason I went with these Proton 500s is because of their visibility. You can buy, cheap turn signals on Amazon or eBay that claim that they're LED and that they claim that they're bright. But the problem with those is that you just can't see them. You go ahead and you spend all this money on this turn signal and there's no visibility to it. So, you're sitting there, you're driving around in traffic and nobody can tell when you're turning or not. So you've essentially made your turn signals worthless. This is not cheap, but it is a fantastic upgrade. So if you just go ahead and give me a moment here, I'm going to show you what these look like when they're on. Now, obviously, I'm recording this with a camera here and the light is not going to be true to how bright you're seeing it here. But when I jokingly say that these are blinding, I am not kidding you. These lights are so freaking bright that you can see them in broad daylight, and at night they literally light up the entire side on the ground next to your motorcycle. I've got it with the flashers on right here just so you can get an idea of how bright it is. And you can see the way it's kind of burning onto the camera there. See if I can get it to focus a little bit more. They're very bright. They are absolutely no joke whatsoever with how bright they are. And another nice thing about these signals is that they do have a running light feature. So you can see right now, we've gone ahead and we've got them on here just on the running light. So when you don't have your signals on, you still have the beautiful light output of these acting as a running light, further helping you with the overall visibility of your motorcycle. Now, you may be asking yourself, why the Proton 500s? Why not one of the cheap ones or something like that? Well, first off is that these Protons are truly plug and play. I'll go ahead and kind of walk you through the installation of what these look like to put them on your motorcycle. But I'm going to go ahead and grab you the OEM turn signal and show you what I'm talking about. So, you can see here what I'm holding is the factory turn signal piece. And you've got this little plug here. Now, what's really, really nice about these Proton signals is they come with this plug pre-installed. So you pretty much, once you get this factory turn signal piece off, all you do is plug the Proton into the bike. A lot of aftermarket turn signals will have you strip back the wiring on your factory harness, cut it, and then splice it into the new one. And yeah, it's nothing that hard or anything, but I'm a sucker for having the ability to be able to go back to stock if I wanted to, or just not cutting up my harnesses. So with this was truly plug and play. They bolted right onto the bike, and they plugged right into the factory wiring. And for me, that alone makes it worth the slight price premium over your cheap, little LEDs there. So, you go ahead and take this off, and it plugs right into the harness that's already pre-installed on the Proton signals. So you can't go wrong with that right off the bat. So they're truly plug and play. As with any LED, you are going to get a hyper flash if you do not install a flasher relay. I've gone ahead and installed the TST Industries flasher relay, and it's located right under the seat on my bike here. Very, very simple to do. You just take the seat out, remove the stock relay, put in the new TST relay, and you're good to go there. Overall, this probably took me 20 minutes or so to install, but I'll go ahead and show you guys right now what you're looking at for each side. Installing these signals on your motorcycle is not that hard at all. There's two pieces that pretty much have to be removed in order for you to do that. Looking at the front of the motorcycle here, you're going to have this little fake air vent cover here that needs to come off, and you've got this little radiator guard that'll need to come off as well. So to remove this air scoop, it's very, very simple. You've got one Allen bolt right in here. I believe that is a 4 or a 5 millimeter. And then on the inside piece of this, there's going to be two push pin clips where you go ahead and pop in the middle. I'll show you in a second here. The magic of editing and camera angles. So you've got two little push pins in here. One's going to be at the bottom, and then you're going to have one right up top here. And I'm sure you probably still can't see anything. There we go. We got it by my thumb there. We got a push pin there and a push pin there. You just go ahead and pop in the center of that and then remove the entire pin, and then you'll be free to remove this piece. The way in which this piece removes from your bike is very, very easy. You've got a locating tab in the back here, and then the front of it will actually sit over this little screen piece here. So what you do is you work this piece out from here, where you've got a little locating peg, pull it out, and you go ahead and you wiggle it off the bike. So now you've got that piece removed, you can actually access the wiring harness underneath where the turn signal will plug into the factory harness on the bike. But you're not done there. You're gonna work a little bit farther down here, and you've got this radiator shroud piece here. I'm sure you can tell what you're looking at right now, whether you're a mechanically inclined person or not. You've got two bolts, one up here, one down here. They're going to be the same style bolt as the one that was above it there. So you go ahead and pop out those two Allen bolts, and then this whole shroud piece is free. Underneath that, you're going to have this piece mounted to the side of the radiator, and guess what? That is just as easy. There's two 10mm bolts that'll hold this to the side of the radiator, and then that's it. The entire assembly is free from your bike to be able to disassemble and swap over the Proton unit. One thing that I do want to mention that I did not see in a lot of turn signal installation videos is this piece right here. So when you're sliding this piece through here to get it all, completely removed, it's very, very simple. It's just if you don't know what you're doing, you may struggle with it. You can see we've got a little tab here. This piece is soft rubber, so all you do is pretty much lift up on the tab, and then you can, move this locking plate out of the way in order to snake that whole piece out of the bike. So one more time, we'll just show you guys here. Got this little piece, so you can see it's locked on over it here. You just want to pretty much pry it open. You'll be able to squeeze the whole thing out of there. So when you're removing that from the motorcycle, it's very, very simple because it'll be locked onto this piece here. You just go ahead and you take it out. Now, the way the wiring harness is routed on each side is slightly different, but it's one of those things just routed in a way where you feel it's most clean to you. So, for example, this kind of tucks up. Give you a little more panned up view here. This piece will actually kind of tuck up and in under here. I did find the right-hand side of the bike to be a little bit more isolated in where you go ahead and get that harness out. So you may have to kind of, snake the connector through and, pull it through. This side will take you a little bit longer than the left-hand side. Everything is very, very exposed on the left-hand side once you pull this shroud off. So it's a lot easier. Whereas on the right-hand side, you'll see everything's kind of tucked up a little bit more here. No big deal. My biggest advice to you would just be pay attention to the routing of the factory wiring on the stock turn signal. If you can see the way this was on the bike, one side is much longer than the other, obviously, so you're going to need to kind of route the wire up and around a piece on one side. But again, just follow the way it is on the factory, and you should have no issues with the Proton unit itself. I mean, come on. Tell me that doesn't look a zillion times better than a floppy pumpkin just chilling. Well, I guess it wouldn't go that way, but it would go that way. Just chilling on the outside of your motorcycle here. These pieces clean up the bike crazy, and they also help with retaining the visibility. I'm a big believer of having, everything look like it's done for a purpose and look much more clean on the motorcycle, but I don't want to sacrifice visibility and safety. So I felt like with these Proton 500 signals, you get the ability to clean up the bike, but at the same time, retain that safety. I will have to get a nighttime clip for you guys just so you can see how absolutely bright these things are. I believe the left-hand side of my bike's a little bit darker right now, so I'll go ahead and show that to you guys before we go ahead and close out this video. So, as we can see here, I'm in a very, very well-lit garage, and it is lighting up the entire floor, the wall, and even the adjacent wall behind it here. And that's just from the turn signal being on from this light here. So, obviously it's flashing at a normal pace, but you can see how crazily bright this piece is. So, to wrap this piece up, I absolutely love these lights. They were easy to install, and they really, really clean up the overall appearance of the bike. One thing I did want to mention is that these lights actually do have adjustable flashing patterns. So outside of just your standard blink on, blink off, you have the ability to have them kind of do 3 quick blinks, different kind of strobing features with them when you first put them on and everything like that. And it's very, very easy to do. When you buy the lights, they come with a magnet, and all you do is swipe the magnet along the light, and it'll change the programming in the light. I think they have 9 or 10 different features in which how you can program these lights in the way you want them to flash. I just have them in the normal on-off sequence just because, You know, I've got the flasher relay, they blink at a normal pace, and I think that looks fine. However, if you wanted something fancier, you know, you go ahead, swipe the magnet across the light, and you'll have the ability to change the way that they flash sequence when you run them. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this one. Installation is the same on both sides. Like I said, you're going to remove that trim piece up there, the radiator side piece, and then you've got the two bolts or nuts that will hold the signal to that little black stalk there. Pay attention to the wiring harness, and that's it. You are good to go. If you guys do need any other kind of videos or shots of these lights, feel free to drop it in the comments and let me know down below, and I will do my best to get some more videos for you guys. Like I said, it is nice weather out. Ander and I are working on the cars, we're working on the bikes, and we will continually pump out content for you guys throughout the season. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you have not already. And this is Mike. I will catch you in the next video.